best guy here. I'm the best guy there. I'm the best guy anywhere. I am EC3.
Ladies and gentlemen, EC3. Ethan Carter III. When I think of that name, I think of a guy who could have truly been at the top of the WWE landscape to this day. He should have been right at the top with guys like Drew McIntyre, who has a similar situation that EC3 did. Back in 2010, EC3 was a part of the NXT reality show under the name Derrick Bateman. He was a part of season 4, but he didn't win and was eliminated on week 12. When WWE wanted to do another season of NXT, they were going to bring back previous contenders of the NXT show and call it NXT Redemption. Most people know this as the never-ending program with a whopping 67 episodes. To put that in perspective, NXT Season 1 had 15 episodes. The final episode of NXT Redemption aired on June 13, 2012, after which the show ended with no conclusion, and a new NXT was advertised for the following week. That new NXT would turn into the NXT we know today. Derrick Bateman was never eliminated from NXT Redemption and would transition over to that new NXT brand. During his time there, he would slowly be evolving into EC3. He cut his long curly hair and looked much more like what EC3 would eventually become. On his final match, he had a non-title loss against the NXT champion, Big E Langston. And on May 17, 2013, he was released from his contract. A few months later, TNA Wrestling would tease a new Ethan was coming to the company. It was later revealed that it was Ethan Carter III and that he was the nephew of the then owner of the company, Dixie Carter. This character got over fast and even had a fantastic run with the company. He teamed up with Rockstar Spud for a bit, and that pairing was magic. Rockstar Spud added so much to the EC3 persona, and they really struck gold together. During his entire run in TNA, he would be a 2-time heavyweight champion and a 1-time Impact Grand Champion. EC3 got extremely over during his time in TNA Wrestling and became a true name in the industry. He had the look, the charisma, he could talk, and he delivered in the ring when he needed to. He was a true breakout star in the company. On January 13, 2018, he was released from his Impact Wrestling contract. EC3 revealed that he asked for his release from Impact Wrestling before his contract with the company had expired, and one of the primary reasons he left the promotion is due to him needing to make a big change. He said, "I had to do something especially different where my personal life was at the time. I needed a big change. At the time, I was pretty well compensated, so I think they were okay taking me off the books because they wanted to build new and fresh people." EC3 would then show up in the crowd at NXT TakeOver Philadelphia on January 27th of 2018. He was being teased as the newest signing to the Black and Gold brand. EC3 would interrupt William Regal as Regal was announcing the new NXT North American Championship on an episode of NXT TV. EC3 assumed that Regal would award him the new NXT North American Championship. However, he was put in a 6-man ladder match at NXT TakeOver New Orleans. He would be unsuccessful capturing that title. Even though he wouldn't win that championship, the character was made. EC3 was the top 1%. Similar to how he was portrayed in TNA, he had an awesome theme song the fans of NXT instantly gravitated towards. You could see that he in fact gained a big fan base from his time in TNA, and it looked like success was inevitable for him. During his time in NXT, he would have programs with Velveteen Dream, Lars Sullivan, and even the Undisputed Era. On December 17, 2018, not even a year after returning to WWE, he would be called up to the main roster on Monday Night Raw. He would have a good start. He'd have a short feud with Dean Ambrose where he picked up a victory over Ambrose. After a short feud with Ambrose, well, he would be off Raw for the following months. And unfortunately, he was wrestling on WWE's lowest show, Main Event. Somebody must have really not liked him at the time. At WrestleMania 35, he was in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but he failed to win that. In a dark match before the April 9th, 2019 episode of SmackDown, EC3 was managed by Drake Maverick, formerly known as Rockstar Spud. However, it was reported that Vince McMahon disliked the match, so the partnership was never brought to television. He was mainly used on Main Event and in the comedic roles of the WWE 24/7 Championship. In November 2019, it was reported that EC3 was injured with a concussion. And on April 15, 2020, EC3 was released from his WWE contract as part of the budget cuts from the COVID-19 pandemic. EC3 would go on to talk about why he thought his WWE run didn't work when he returned to WWE as EC3. He had this to say: "I think the problem was I created such a self-made brand and individuality and persona that when they threw me out there, I was already very popular and over, that they realized we don't have to worry about this kid, and nobody took it upon themselves to manufacture what I was to them. When it became nobody's project, you can just fall into complacency of being a popular actor semi-over. So I think that's part of it. Plus, NXT is mostly a stomping ground because we think my skills would be for the main roster kind of talent. When I did get called up, it was a rush called up," EC3 admitted. "My mistake was trusting the process, believing there was a reason for it, opposed to a rash decision because they were feeling heat for some reason. My mistake was thinking it was for a reason. I take full accountability for that. Plus, they called me up, and I was out with an injury. I was rushed back from injury. I was not in a good place physically or mentally." Well, that's the story of EC3 and WWE. When Derrick Bateman was released from the WWE, he worked super hard getting that EC3 character over in TNA Wrestling and had major success. But coming into WWE would be a difficult challenge for him. Because he already had an established persona, he was never anyone's pet project. Nobody took him under the wing and said, "Let's do something big with this guy." He sort of floated by in NXT and was called up to the main roster in a flash. He was out with an injury and had to come back so fast to be on Monday Night Raw. EC3 fell victim to the system that is the WWE machine. WWE called him up to the main roster, and he just became another body. Knowing everything he did with Rockstar Spud and TNA Wrestling and the massive success he had there, you could clearly see that WWE let something good slip through their fingers. WWE had no master plan for EC3, so it would be up to him to break through that glass ceiling and become a superstar on his own. He admits that mentally and physically, he wasn't in the right state. However, if they would have let EC3 run with the ball and be the top heel he was in TNA with Rockstar Spud, he could have created magic. To this day, I will say that EC3 in the WWE was a big missed opportunity.